Welcome back. It is 1:30 in the morning. I'm tired. I just live streamed for over 4 hours the game, and for those who joined, appreciate you. It's a good time for a while until the end. And then I stayed after and talked for another like 30, 40 minutes. That's why I'm doing this so late. But anyway, the Giants played a game on the road against Washington on Thursday, and a game I thought they won. I thought they won for about 5 seconds. And then something happened. A flag was thrown. A guy was offsides, Dexter Lawrence. And they lost on the next field goal. And there's a lot to talk about in this game. And I'll tell you, it's going to be a long 10 days. A long 10 days. And let me say off the top, I am not losing hope. Not going to say that. I am not completely out on this season yet. I think in a crappy NFC East division that may take 8 wins to win it, there's still some hope for this Giants team. But to start out 0-2, when I was saying before the season you have to start at least 1-1, this is not good. It's rough. Now, Dallas might be 0-2 after Sunday, playing the Chargers. The Eagles, I don't know what to expect. They might be 1-1. They play San Francisco. And Washington's only 1-1. And we play them later in the year to hopefully, get even with them. So it's not all bad. There's a positive spin on it. But let me go through the offense, defense, and the general notes here on the left side. This loss is not on Daniel Jones. It's not. I am the first one to criticize Daniel Jones when he doesn't play well. I sit here on this day, and I still don't really think Daniel Jones is a franchise quarterback, a guy that's going to be here for 10 to 15 years and lead us to a bunch of playoff games and hopefully a championship. I don't look at him like that. Not yet. He's got to prove it more to me. But Daniel Jones played maybe one of his best games for the Giants, at least since 2019. He had his games in 2019. He played very well against the Jets, very well against the Lions, very well against Washington, very well in his first game against Tampa. He was awesome in those games. And then last year, in the first year of Jason Garrett, didn't look as good. His stats regressed. But Daniel Jones tonight yesterday night when I post this, looked phenomenal. He was really good. Was he perfect? No. He missed one throw to Galladay. I think he was inaccurate on a couple other throws, but it wasn't that bad. Daniel Jones, for the most part, played very well in that game. Can't blame him. Now, Jason Garrett, the guy who's calling the plays and the guy who is, rightfully so, a scapegoat for the Giants. I think he's been bad since he's been here. I'm not going to defend Jason Garrett. But the game he called against Washington here in Week 2 wasn't all that bad. Was there some typical Jason Garrett nonsense thrown in there sometimes? Yes. There was a bad draw play on a 1st and 15 or a 2nd and 15. He did a stupid end-around play that got a big loss at one point. There was that ridiculous time in the game, I think in the second quarter maybe, where the Giants called a timeout, went over a play, and then the first play out of the timeout got a delay of game. I don't know how you do that. This team, Joe Judge especially, prides itself on being fundamentally sound. We're not going to beat ourselves, and they beat themselves in every possible way tonight. I will say that. I keep saying tonight, yesterday. I'm going to say tonight from now on. They beat themselves in so many ways tonight. It's unbelievable. And this is a team that I always, I like Joe Judge. I want to believe in him. And I do. I do believe in Joe Judge. I do think with the right team around him, he will be the guy or the right head coach here. And even Patrick Graham. I'm not jumping off a ship yet because Patrick Graham hasn't looked that great the past 2 games. Patrick Graham's defense overperformed last year, and I personally think some fans had some unrealistic expectations. If you had the expectations of the Giants to have a top 5 level defense here in 2021, you probably overestimated how great the Giants defense can be. Now, if you said they have a top 10 secondary on paper, sure, I can get on board with that. Top 5, you're pushing it, but maybe. But overall, the first thing I'll touch on with the defense is there's no pass rush. I think I saw someone posted in my stream that Bobby Skinner from Talking Giants said that the Giants had 1 sack and one other pressure in this game, I think, or something, or 1 tackle for loss and 1 sack, and they were both from Azeez Ojulari, the second-round rookie. Where the hell is everybody else? Where is Leonard Williams? Where is Dexter Lawrence? Where is Austin Johnson? Where is Danny Shelton? Where are these guys? We paid Leonard Williams like a 3-year and $60 million contract this offseason to come in here and be a difference maker. And you barely see Leonard Williams making plays. Now, Williams, to his credit, had one key stop when Taylor Heineke tried to run in a touchdown near the goal line. He made that one key stop. He also nearly sacked Heineke on a play where he was rolling out to his left. So Leo got close to making a big play twice. Well, once, and he made a big play on the other one. So I'll give him his credit there. But where is he for the 97, 96% of the other plays? Where is he? Like we're not seeing the dominant level of Leonard Williams. And I did not expect Leonard Williams to come in here and have another 11.5 sack season. I had realistic expectations. I didn't expect that. That's too much to ask for a guy who had a track record like Leonard Williams, who is not known to be a high sack guy. But he hasn't done much else so far. And I don't know what his double team percentage is and all that crap. I have no idea. But just watching the games, you're not seeing Leonard Williams make a difference that a $20 million per year player should be making. Now, Patrick Graham's scheme. I'm not jumping off the bandwagon for Patrick Graham. He did too many good things here last year. I'm not off this guy because of 2 games. But what are we doing with the soft coverage? Why are we always in like this cover 3 and your cornerbacks are 10 to 15 yards off these guys? It's like James Betcher all over again. I can't have that. I expect too much from you, Patrick Graham. You've earned too much trust from me to do crap like this. You have Adoree Jackson, who played very well in this game, by the way, from what I saw. James Bradbury, who was phenomenal last year. Bit of a slow start this year, but very key interception in this game. We'll get to that later. You signed Adoree Jackson to be your cornerback, too. Last year, we gave Patrick Graham the excuse, well, maybe he's not running as much man coverage because his cornerback 2 position sucks. It was Corey Ballantyne, it was Ryan Lewis, and Julian Love, and probably some other guy. I can't remember. And we were saying, okay, that's probably why the Giants are running more zone and not enough man. But now, for at least the first 2 weeks, the Giants have had a healthy Bradbury and a healthy Adoree Jackson, and they're still playing a ridiculous amount of zone. Once again, I don't have the percentages in front of me, but if you're watching every snap of these Giants games, it is clear as day. There is too much zone, and you're making these quarterbacks' lives too easy. Taylor Heineke was a backup quarterback in the XFL like a year ago. And this guy just was dicing up the Giants' defense easily. Same with Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater's a guy that for most people was an afterthought. A lot of people did not respect him, and he was traded for like a 5th-round pick this year. It's not like Teddy Bridgewater is this amazing quarterback. He's pretty good. Teddy Bridgewater's fine. But he's not a guy that should have done what he did against the Giants in Week 1. And I say the same thing for Taylor Heineke. I respect Heineke. It's a good story. He has mobility. He's an okay pocket passer. But Heineke was very close to throwing like 3 interceptions in this game. He let some throws get away from him. So I'm not like a huge Heineke's this great quarterback type of guy. He's fine, right? He's a fine, a good backup. He's a good backup. That's what he is. But not a guy that should be putting up 30 points on you. That's ridiculous. Against a defense like this that had so much hype and the highest, pretty high expectations. 30 points against Taylor Heineke, once again, backup XFL quarterback like a year and a half ago. So you hate to see that. And it's the other part of this Giants defense that really pissed me off was I think the Giants were up 6 heading into this drive. I could be wrong with my score here, but I think the Giants were up 6. Score might have been 26-20 at that point. And Washington scored on 2 plays, going basically the entire field on 2 plays. First, it was a wheel route. Tate Crowder was on defense against J.D. McKissick, a running back, and Tate Crowder bit, and he got beat, and J.D. McKissick had a huge gain. And then the very next play, Ricky Seals-Jones, some guy who's played for like 5 teams the past 3 years probably. He's a tall tight end, I get that. Basically mossed Adoree Jackson in the corner of the end zone. It was a great throw. I mean, Ricky Seals-Jones is a big guy. He's probably like 6'5", but a perfect throw. And they score on 2 plays. Taylor Heineke, like these names, Taylor Heineke, J.D. McKissick, Ricky Seals-Jones, basically went the entire field and scored on the Giants in a 4th quarter crunch time situation with like 4 minutes to go. It was embarrassing. And you can say, maybe it's two lucky plays, whatever. But like 30 points the entire game, that's not luck. All right, they scored 30 points this game, Washington. And then the James Bradbury interception, where Antonio Gibson's running the ball. He's getting 4, 5, 6, 7 yards per carry. You're like, oh man, they're just going to run the ball a few more times, and this game's going to be over. And Washington gives us a gift. A gift. They give us a gift. They say, let's do this stupid ass, I don't know if it was like a RPO type thing or just a play action. And they threw the ball when they clearly should have been running the clock out in their own territory. And James Bradbury has this amazing like Malcolm Butler type play where he jumps in front of Terry McLaurin and makes an insane interception. And the Giants get the ball on Washington's 20. They were down by what? 1 at that point? 2? I don't know. They were basically down by 1 or 2 at that point. I'm trying to do the math in my head real quick. I think they were down. They were probably down 26-27 when they got the interception. And basically, they could have, got a touchdown, put the game out of reach, or as they did in the actual situation, they settled for a field goal and went up 29-27. So right then and there, Washington gave you a gift. They said, "Take this win. We're not supposed to pass the ball right now, but we'll give it to you." And James Bradbury makes an insane interception. Giants get the ball. So then, what else? What else happened in this game? I guess even before that, I'm trying to think of when this happened. I know the score was 23-20 at that point. And I'm jumping around here. I get that. I'm sorry. But there's so much going through my head about this game. Darius Slayton. The guy that some Giants fans, and you know who you are, proclaim this guy to be a wide receiver 1. Whether it was for the Giants or in the NFL, I don't know. If it's for the NFL, it's even worse. But the Giants wide receiver 1 last year. Darius Slayton has too many issues to be a wide receiver 1. I'm sorry. I think those days are over. I think we all get it now. Way too inconsistent with the drops. He's not a great route runner. He's okay at it, not great at it. He's not great at playing through contact. He has issues. Darius Slayton, great find by Gettleman in the 5th round, whatever it was, but he has his limitations. We propelled Darius Slayton to be this great player when he really wasn't. And that's nothing against him. It's just the way it is. He returned a value for where he was taken in the draft. I think it was a good pick looking back on it. But the fact that he dropped that ball, I know he caught the touchdown earlier. Fine, great. But the fact that he dropped that ball, Washington once again hands the Giants a gift. You want a blown coverage? Here, take it. And you have some people out there saying Daniel Jones should have laid out a better throw. Daniel Jones got popped on that play by somebody. Probably some 280-pound defensive end or linebacker. He got popped on that play. So Daniel Jones, he couldn't step into the throw. It wasn't going to be a perfect throw. But if you look at the replay, the entire ball hit the palm, not the fingertips, the palm of Darius Slayton. You have to catch that ball in the NFL. You have to. Would I have caught it? Probably not, because I'm Mike the YouTuber. But Darius Slayton, the NFL wide receiver, has to catch that ball. That's just the facts. I'm sorry. He has to catch that ball. Do you want to put 2%, 5% of the blame on Daniel Jones? Fine, sure. It wasn't a perfect throw. It could have been more towards his chest. Okay, fine. But he has to catch the ball. It's more on Slayton by a lot. The CJ Board holding call, as we jump around here once again. I'm a fair person. I always, even when I play sports with friends, if we're playing basketball and the ball touches my fingertips, I admit it hit me. I'm that type of guy. Teammates probably hate me sometimes. I like to have a fair game. I'm always fair about this stuff. The CJ Board play is CJ Board's fault. I see people calling it the phantom holding call. The refs are bad. He held him. He was holding the corner by his jersey. The corner was trying to disengage and go that way, and CJ Board was holding his jersey. That's the easiest call for a ref to make on holding. When you see the jersey grab happening and the defender running the other way, that's when the holding is going to be called. And if you're CJ Board, you have to realize your guy's basically on the boundary. He's not even in the play. Why are you even hanging on to his jersey? Daniel Jones is fast. Daniel Jones isn't very nimble. He's not, breaking ankles out there. He's not the best lateral quickness type guy. But Daniel Jones can run in a straight line very fast, and he was going to score anyway. So I blame CJ Board. I think that was his fault. Now the Giants got most of the yards there. They basically got to the Washington 20 after that. And there was a lot of times the Giants got in the red zone. I don't know what their efficiency numbers were in the red zone this game, but someone said in the comments before in the stream that they were playing not to lose. And You can bring that up. I do want to go back and watch the game, of course. Hopefully, get the all 22 this time because it sucks not having it. I will say, but I want to make sure this is recording. By the way, okay, it is because that would make my night even worse. Yeah, but I do want to go back because there were, I guess, at least 2 or 3 times where the Giants could have went for it on fourth down, but they settled for the field goal. And by the way, before I forget, Graham Gano, what a guy, what a find. As much crap as I give Dave Gettleman, and rightfully so, because he has not done a good job in my opinion, the find of Graham Gano has been awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that, Dave Gettleman. You got us a kicker. Thank you very much. Graham Gano was awesome. But yeah, I mean, like, they could have went for it. There was like a 4th and 3 at one point. I don't know what quarter it was even, but a 4th and 3 on like Washington's like 15 around there. So they were close to scoring. They could have tried to go for, get the extra 4 points there. There were a few instances where they could have went for it on fourth down. There was a play where there was a 4th and 10. They were like near midfield, and I thought the Giants should have went for it because there was no downside. It was towards the end of the game. It was like probably 3-4 minutes left. It was probably actually the drive right before they kicked the ball or punted the ball, and then Washington scored on 2 plays. It was probably the drive right before that, actually. I'm trying to see what I forgot here. Kadarius Toney. Why did we draft him in the first round if we're not going to use him? What are we doing? I understand that Kadarius Toney had hamstring issues. I know that he had COVID and had a tough time recovering from it. I get it. Everyone reacts differently. It's the same thing with Saquon and his injury. I'll get to that after this. But why the hell, especially after the drop that Slayton had, why are you playing Slayton over Kadarius Toney? We know who Slayton is. He's been here for, 3 years now? He's a guy that will make a big splash play here and there. But he's Darius Slayton. He's a wide receiver 3 or a wide receiver 4 in the NFL. That's the way it is. It's probably not changing. You took Kadarius Toney in the first round, 20th overall, and he can't see the field barely? Now, I saw he had like an ankle wrap thing, so maybe his ankle's hurt. I don't know. But he was on the field. Why are you barely playing Kadarius Toney? It's not like the Giants are trotting out Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, and Michael Gallup like another team in this division. Their third receiver spot is Darius Slayton. They have Shepard, they have Galladay. I think Kadarius Toney should be the next guy. Like, over the offseason, I always envisioned a team of Kenny Galladay and Sterling Shepard and Kadarius Toney on the field at the same time. That's what I envisioned as a Giants fan. That's what I thought I was going to say. And I see way too much of Darius Slayton. And I'm not out on Slayton. I just think this is who he is. He's a guy who's going to be inconsistent. Deal with it. He's on a great contract. He's going to help the team probably more than he hurts the team. But tonight was just a bad game. And maybe the fans give him the Evan Engram treatment because Engram, after he dropped that ball versus Philly, we know how the fans reacted and now treat Evan Engram. And I get it. I'm an Evan Engram supporter, but I get why people don't like him. But yeah, you got to catch that ball. I don't care. And on the Saquon Barkley, he broke off a big run. It was exciting. I was hyped. I was happy for him to get that big run. They finally blocked well up front for him. But other than that run, Saquon Barkley, other than that one big run he had 12 carries for 16 yards. It's not good. And for a guy who, once again, was labeled as generational, game changer, makes the entire offense better, all these things, which I guess could be true to an extent, Saquon Barkley has not looked the same since 2018. Now, I know in 2019 he had an injury with the ankle. I know he's coming off an ACL injury. And I personally, you guys know how I feel about the Saquon pick if you've been here for a while. I would never take a running back that early. I hated that pick for the value. I love Saquon the player, tremendous talent, but I just would not take a running back that early, especially for the Giants being in that situation. But what I will say is, I am giving Saquon another week. I'm not going to get on his ass about this performance. It's hard to run when your blocking does nothing for you. I will say that as well. But if Saquon doesn't have a good game, I'm talking like at least 15 carries and at least 80 yards and like a consistent 80 yards, not like you get 70 yards on one run and then get 10 on the other, like 14 carries. I'm talking like have an actual good 12 or 15 carry, 80 yard type game or even better. And if he can't do that versus the Atlanta Falcons defense, then I'm concerned. Because right now, I'm like, hey, take it easy. The offensive line for the Giants isn't that good. They're playing the Broncos defense and the Washington defense. He's coming back from a bad injury. ACLs aren't easy. It's easier in 2021. I get that. Some guys recover faster than others. But as I said with the whole COVID thing, people react differently. It is what it is. And when you look at Saquon Barkley and the freak of nature he is, you assume that he should heal faster. But it's like ligaments. I don't know how this crap works. I'm not a doctor. But if Saquon doesn't perform next week against Atlanta's porous defense, I have my concerns. I will put it that way. What else haven't I got to? I mean, I pretty much got to most things. Don't blame DJ. Slayton is who he is. Saquon's getting one more week. The offensive line will go to. I mean, the offensive line was... How do I explain it? It wasn't awful, but they made their mistakes. They had the stupid play where they got the back-to-back plays where they got themselves out of field goal range because Nate Solder and Andrew Thomas had back-to-back false starts. It's just stupid stuff like that. But for the most part, I can recall certain plays where there was one where Andrew Thomas got beat. There was one or two where Solder got beat. There was one where Will Hernandez was getting pushed back into the quarterback. Billy Price, he got eaten alive on one play. And as we're on the offensive line, prayers for Nick Gates, I think, obviously it's not good. He fractured his leg, so he's probably out for a lot of the season. Maybe not the whole season, because sometimes guys have miraculous, they heal miraculously from these broken bones, but I'm not expecting Nick Gates back, and it sucks. I feel bad for him. He's a great story. Another great find by Dave Gettleman, but just, it's not what we needed. This team did not need a Nick Gates injury. He's one of the heart and souls of this team, so it sucks. And anytime you see anybody get injured like that, it's bad. But the Giants could not afford an injury like that. But the Giants' offensive line, while they had the stupid penalties sometimes and the false starts and some guys getting beat on certain plays, I think they gave up 4 sacks total, they weren't awful. They didn't lose this game because of the offensive line. There was more, I feel like, good than bad when it came to the offensive line. Daniel Jones actually had a decent amount of time to throw when he was in the pocket, I will say. So it's not like I look at the offensive line and say, well, it's the offensive line's fault. It's not the usual 3 culprits. The 3 culprits for the Giants, well, the 3 groups, I should say, because one of them is a group, is the offensive line, Jason Garrett, and Daniel Jones. It's hard to blame any of them. It's more on the defense and mental errors. I mean, that's what it comes down to for me, and the missed opportunities. Because Washington tried to hand us this game over and over and over, and we didn't take it. And with the field goal, I believe that it was a 48-yard attempt for Dustin Hopkins. Of course, there was a 2-minute drill for Taylor Heineke. He gets the Washington football team, in the field goal range. It's a 48-yard attempt. So he lines up, and Dustin Hopkins misses it wide right. I'm on stream. I'm going crazy. And then I see flag on the screen. And of course, a Giants guy was offsides. Dexter Lawrence jumped offsides. It was clear. They made the right call. I can't be mad at the refs for making the right call. Just calling a fair game. They're calling what they see. So that's like me. I call it how I see it when I do these YouTube videos. But the refs called it how they saw it, and he was offsides. That's a mental error for Dexter Lawrence. And once again, Joe Judge preached we're not going to beat ourselves, and the Giants beat themselves. And then the next kick, it once again kind of looked like it was wide right, and then it hooked back inside, and the Giants lost. So one of the tougher losses you'll see for a team. Sorry. But, it's just like this team forgets how to win. They forgot how to win. There was a stat before I saw. This was from the My Sports Update thing on Twitter. It's a tweet that is very eye-opening. And every time I get a moron on Twitter or even people in my comments saying, Mike, you're too negative, listen to this stat. This is why I get upset. The Giants are 0-2 to start a season for the 8th time in 9 seasons. So the Giants have started 0-2 or worse in 8 of the last 9 seasons. The one time they didn't was the 2-0 start in 2016. That is bad. There's a reason I'm negative. And even tonight, I feel like I'm being more positive than most people should be. There's people in my comments saying, fire Graham, fire Judge, Daniel Jones is not it, and I'm giving Jones credit. I'm giving Garrett credit. I'm still sticking with Judge and Graham for now. I'm trying to be level-headed. But I'll tell you what, if they lose to Atlanta, I feel like all hell's going to break loose. Not just me, but other fans as well. And we have the Eli Manning jersey retirement, or number, whatever it is, jersey retirement coming out here in week 3 for the Giants. And I just hope they win that game. That's it. I mean, they have to, it's a must win. I was trying to avoid calling this game against Washington a must win because it's week 2. They're mathematically still alive. They can still lose week 3 and be mathematically alive. But here's the problem. Let me go through the Giants' schedule real quick. I'll be that guy who goes through the schedule and tries to tell you guys, this is how tough their schedule is. So let me look real quick. But I know they play the Rams in there. I know they play the Cowboys. Here we go. So after Atlanta, let's hypothetically say, let's say God's on our side, the Giants play fundamentally sound, and they beat Atlanta. They go to 1-2. Then they play New Orleans, then they play Dallas, then they play the Rams. You might win one of those games. You might lose all 3. So then, at best, you're probably looking at 2-4. Then you play Carolina. You could win that game. Then you play KC. I don't know about that. And then you're playing the Las Vegas Raiders. Then you're playing Tampa. And I guess the second half is a little easier. You get Miami, Los Angeles, Chargers, Dallas, Philly, Chicago, Washington. It's not an easy schedule. There's a few games on here where you're like, they could win it. But it's like nothing is a guarantee with this team. So I don't think the Giants are as bad as they were back in 2017, but they have their issues. This team is far from what people made it out to be. The people that projected an 11 or 12 win season are off their rocker, to put it nicely. It's probably not going to happen. And that's why I projected 8 wins. And I don't even know how I feel about 8 wins anymore. I kind of hope they get to 8 wins at this point. I don't know. So I'm trying to see if I miss anything on this list here. I've been rambling for a while, but yeah, this organization just needs to find out how to win again. And there's people saying, fire this guy, fire that guy. What can you really do right now? Sign Cam Newton. What are you going to do right now? What can you do? You got to hold out hope for Daniel Jones and hope he turns it around. You got to hold out hope that Saquon Barkley finds himself in the 2018 version of himself. And the worst part is Saquon Barkley's young. He's younger than me. He's like 23 or 24 or something. Like, he's young. Saquon Barkley's not washed. I mean, we saw Todd Gurley kind of get washed at 25 or so because he had the bad knees. But, I don't think Saquon's going to suffer from that, hopefully. Saquon's still young. I feel like he has good football left in him. So I don't know what's going on here. But part of it's the offensive line. I will say that. The Giants just have a lot of, issues. It's not a perfect team, and the coaching has to be better. I expected the Giants coaching to get them a couple more wins this year, but now it's I don't know. The Giants coaching has been underwhelming, and I try to give Joe Judge all the benefits of the doubt, and I try to be a Joe Judge supporter, but he has not been good so far. I can't lie to you guys. He's not been good. He threw the freaking challenge flag. I forgot to mention that last week. I didn't really care because the Giants lost that game by 3 touchdowns basically anyway to Denver, but that was stupid. And tonight they had so many discipline errors. And even one that cost them the game. Not just the drop, of course, which is a concentration thing probably, but even a Dexter Lawrence thing. And having too many men on the field on defense coming out of a timeout and getting a false start or a delay of game after a timeout. Having back-to-back false starts. These are discipline issues. The Giants had 11 penalties tonight? I had it in my phone somewhere. They had an insane amount of penalties in this game. They had 11 penalties, 81 yards due to it. So, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and blame the refs. The Giants do it to themselves. I feel bad. It sucks. This game hurts. And it's going to be hard to sleep tonight. But, they do it to themselves. How can I be mad? They do it to themselves. I mean, that's it. So, all in all, they have to win next week. I'm trying to look forward. I'll try and get the actual good coaches film this time and actually have a good breakdown video for you guys now that there's 10 days. So yeah, I'll try to get that out whenever I do get it, hopefully. We'll see. Anyway, that'll do it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. What else do I have to say? I don't know. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your weekend. Talk to you guys next time.